Minutes of the regular meeting of the Central Queens Republican Club held on March 19, 2026 at Grace Lutheran Church, 103-15 Union Turnpike, Forest Hills, Queens, 11375. The meeting was called to order at 7:30 p.m. After the Pledge of Allegiance, Jim Stallhorn read the mission statement and did the roll call. Daniel welcomed Jeff Gottlieb, president of the JFK Democratic Club of Queens, who gave a brief history of the club. Andrew Okeneff read the February 19, 2026 meeting minutes. Anton Prattman motioned to adopt the minutes, seconded by Richard, and it was passed with 2 nay votes. Daniel reported a bank balance of $4,081.20 with about 60 paying members. Board members in attendance were Ruben Cruz, Lon Pagan, Emily Zane, Joel Solomon, Stephen Weiner, Harold Crone, Craig Tyson, Sophia Worrell, Isaiah Baker, Daniel Mayo, Jim Stallhorn, Arkady Chevsky, Sam Norwalk, and Phil Grillo. Absent were Martha Rowan, James Schwartzman, David Abraham, Sarah Levy, David Kemp, Catherine Lally, Gina Cow, Gerard Lally, Kathy Lally, and Phil Myers. 32 members and 28 non-members were in attendance. Announcements. Carlos Pesantes presented Compost Collective, which started in 2012. Part of its past activities included eggs raising, vegetables growing, and honey collecting. Carlos asked volunteers to put up schools and funds. Justina, a compost collective volunteer since age 13, now 18, mentioned a week-long political camp called a Girl State, sponsored by the American Legion Auxiliary. Jonathan Rinaldi explained why he changed his voter registration to Democrat. Melvin Rivera, an activist from Bushwick who went from homelessness to homeowner, is running for Congress in the 7th District. Steve Gillian gave an update on the Save America Act on federal voter registration. Daniel thanked Larry Block and Michael Ruiz for their music played earlier before the start of the meeting. Debate on President Trump. Daniel passed the meeting over to Charles Henry, the moderator. Panelists started with a self-introduction. Phil Orenstein, Republican; Juan Pagan, Republican; Sophia Worrell, Republican; Stephen Weiner, Republican; Alan Sherman, Democrat; Jeff Gottlieb, Democrat; and Steve Bayer, Democrat. Charles asked the panelists, was the February attack on Iran justified? 100% justified, Orenstein. A raised matzah was proposed to indicate Speaker's time was up. It's unconstitutional, only Congress can declare war, Behar. Many presidents took military actions since World War II without a declaration of war, Orenstein rebuttal. What Trump did in Iran was proper, Sherman. Michael Ruiz from the audience added that Russia and China are arming Iran. Harris Bhatti mentioned that Joy Kent, director of the National Counterterrorism Center, resigned March 17. Behar added that he was #1 security expert on Iran and the Pentagon. Morrell sees the Iran war as an operation that should be over in a month. Behar disagrees. Weiner described that the regime funded Hezbollah, Houthis, and Hamas, about 30,000 Iranians were killed in the recent internal protests. Some families who wanted bodies back were asked to pay for the bullets. Orenstein emphasized that peacekeeping as a policy fails. Second question, are open borders good or bad? They are bad. The number is about the same during the last year of Biden as under Trump's first administration before COVID. Reagan was the last president who did immigration reform in 1986. Weiner highlighted that 20,000 deaths due to fentanyl will slow due to Trump shutting the border and blowing up drug boats. Orenstein observed that migrants housed at Creedmoor while enjoying free housing, healthcare, and transportation are not true asylum seekers. Morrell paid thousands to become a U.S. citizen and opposed open borders. Betty Ann Hogan added open borders leads to sexploitation and abandoned children. Arek Tomaszewski observed that those illegal immigrants expect free this and that. Michael Ruiz hardworking people. Sophia Worrell replied, yes, but there's a right way and a wrong way. Third topic, should voters have an ID to vote? Stephen Weiner got his Omni card, which required a driver's license, but not when you vote. Alan Sherman said voting is for Americans, so show your ID. Steve Behar said, the problem is that the SAVE Act is a voter suppression law. Steve Gilliam, which you know, instructions, clarified new voters have to show citizenship proof and voter rolls must be clean. Behar said paying a $186 U.S. passport fee is difficult for low-income people and women who had their names changed. He highlighted that the Heritage Foundation documented 77 convictions of voter fraud and only 10 were attributed to illegal immigrants. Weinstein asked the audience how many have an enhanced driver's license, which required a passport as a document. Behar countered that enhanced ID licenses can't be used to register to vote. Weinstein pointed out that even Senator Chuck Schumer said that you need an ID everywhere you go. Audience responded, asking, where is the truth? We did not come here to hear this. Mike Seidel, a poll worker, said he had experience of catching people cheating to vote. In those cases, he would ask for a picture ID. Behar said the problem is registration for about 21 to 25 million Americans who do not have a passport or a birth certificate, citing this 92-year-old father, a veteran, as an example, citing his 92-year-old father. Monica said you need 3 forms of ID to shovel snow for the city, so how difficult is it to get it? Behar said this is a solution looking for a problem. Lynn Halpert said anyone can get a birth certificate in 2 weeks. Last question presented by the moderator, Charles Henry, is what would you like Trump to do or undo before the end of his term? Mass deportation and denaturalization per Worrell, determination on truth of COVID, and increase property tax exemption minimum above $250,000, which has not been changed for nearly 27 years per Ryan. Sherman wants tax incentives for employers having their employees to work in person. Gottlieb said close off southern border and for Western nations to build up their army. Behar said Trump should follow the Constitution, executive orders, and martial law. He added that Trump should not embrace authoritarians such as Orbán and Putin. Ornstein believes that Trump should take Greenland and avoid World War III, especially if Iran gets nuclear bomb. Rabbi Beerbaum said don't relent on Iran and the state tax. Final announcements, free Mets tickets against Detroit Tigers on May 12th are available. Brandon Castro is holding a fundraiser on Saturday, June 1st. Jonathan Rinaldi is asking for contributions to fund his assembly race. George Marsh won the 50-50 raffle. Jim Stolman mentioned motion to adjourn, and it was seconded by Richard at 9:29 p.m. But there's no mention of whether it was voted on or not, so apparently that meeting was not ended. So,
any corrections or comments on the minutes? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor to adopt the minutes as read, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? So, minutes have been adopted, 1 day vote. Thank you very much. Okay, one more is financial report. Sophia, would you give us a financial report? And then afterwards, we're going to have our special guest say a few words. Sophia?
Yes, so good evening, everyone. Right now, our bank balance is $4,051.43. And I think we still have 6 members in good standing.
Well, let's see, as of tonight, we'll have 46.
46.
Yeah, we still reset them basically now, all the membership now. Okay, let me introduce you to Heshi, okay? For those who are from Brooklyn, he's very well known, very famous, and he's running for state senate, so let me pass the microphone over to him. Go ahead, Heshi, the floor is yours.
You know, a lot of people come here and they want to give you their pitch on who they are, what they're going to do for you. I've been doing this for 40 years as a private citizen. And I had an interview recently, and I was sitting at the interview, and the guy says to me, "Hey, what inspires you? Why did you do this for the city? Why have you, during COVID, fought the mayor? Why have you been arrested so many times? What makes you different than everybody else?" And I'm going to tell you, I couldn't think of an answer. I told him about my teacher that inspired me in 8th grade. My father passed away a month after my bar mitzvah when I was 13. He was a Holocaust survivor. He was one of my inspirations. And I was telling Zahava, who is my co-running, that beautiful young girl over there, that they're trying to throw off the ballot, but we're not going to let her get off the ballot by the Democrats. So I was thinking of who really inspired me. And I'm going to tell you that I've met so many people throughout my life. My mother was a single mother, and me and her fought our way back through the years. I've had 21 foster kids, 3 of my own, grandchildren, built my family, 150 nephews and nieces, and I want you to know I'm proud to be American. Red, white, and blue runs through my blood. My father was proud to come to this country as a legal immigrant and fight his way up. And I'm going to tell you this story. My story was, I'm sure a lot of you have seen the movie called The Glorious Bastards. Have you ever seen it? It's a true story. Except for the ending, it's really a true story. And why am I going to tell you it's a true story? My cousin Getzel Schwartz, he was in Hungary, and when the Nazis came to get their family, the father was a very holy man, had 10 kids, and he figured he would get on the boat, come to America with 1 kid, and save some money and bring the family over. Now, Getzel Schwartz wasn't a regular skinny dude like me. I know I'm a little chubby here, just I hope I get into the whole camera picture there. But Getzel Schwartz was a monster, built. You should have seen his muscles. Even when I was a little boy and he was an older man, he was a monster. He was a force to be reckoned with. And we were all sitting around with the little cousins as our family grew. And he tells us the story how when he came to America, he couldn't even speak English. And when the war broke out, it was his duty to join the American Army. Now, what you people don't realize, and I've gone through this as a kid, the anti-Semitism, the hatred, the bigotrism, due to being a Jew or being a man or a woman of color. I've taken in kids who are Muslim, who are black, who are Asian. My house is open to everybody. My wife is there too. But it's a joke. I love her. 37 years, Danny. Don't put that on the camera. She has a lot of money. So I want you to know, Getzel sits us down, all us little kids who are 6, 7 years old, and he tells us that they put him into the army. Now, the American Army, I'm ashamed to tell you, during World War II was also anti-Semitic. And they figured, what are you going to do with this 18-year-old kid? He doesn't speak English. We don't care. We're going to put him into the paratroopers, let him jump behind enemy lines and die. The beauty about Getzel Schwartz, him and his platoon, is they jumped mission after mission. They crawled behind enemy lines, and he said, we cut the Nazi throats. We cut them, and I couldn't believe when he told us those stories. And he said, and that's why when I saw that movie, Glorious Bastards, I knew it was true. And he told us of missions, how they went in and they fought the Nazis. And he showed us a package of medals that he had. I'm not talking a few, a package. Saved his platoon, saved so many people. When the war ended, he knew his family was killed. But there was a list all over Europe and Germany of all the survivors. To go find your sister, your brother, or whatever, your parents. And Getzel found the list where one of his sisters lived. And he quickly ran over to the camp, and they told him, Getzel, your sister was killed 4 days before. Getzel, a war hero, a monster, got crazy. Took his machine gun, walked into town, and started shooting the Germans. Just like that. They grabbed him, they jumped him, and they arrested him. When they brought him before the court-martial, they asked him what's going on. He said, I don't understand. He says, millions of people were killed. Of course I'm angry my sister was killed. But you know, they all knew. Anyways, they didn't officially court-martial him. They gave him an honorable discharge with a pension. Beautiful, good-looking man, about 20-something years old. He had nothing better what to do. He got on a plane and he flew to Israel. And he hung out in Israel for 2 years. You won't believe what happened. 1948, the war between Israel and the Arab countries broke out. And what did Getzel do? He joined the Israeli army. And of course, behind enemy lines, he fought I got a group of medals, a bunch of medals. Now Getzel, then after the war was over, the country awarded him with an apartment in Israel, and he flew back and forth. He married a nice woman, had 4 kids, and he had some issues, he told me. And I remember Getzel telling me, he says, hey, life is short. It's not a movie that you can watch over and over again. It's a one-time deal. It's a one-shot deal. And I love the country of America. I love being a Jew. But I want you to know, never give up. Keep fighting for your fellow man. And I remember growing up, and I got married to Linda, and we flew to Israel to meet her grandmother. And Getzel was in Israel, and I went over to Getzel's apartment. He was like 75 years old. He opens his door in his underwear, and he says, come on in. And he gets on, he says, I want to show you something. And he did 150 push-ups for me right there. This was a man who never gave up. He died at 96, one of my favorite cousins, who lost everything, who rebuilt. I am here telling you today, yeah, I struggled. We struggled when my father died. We came back the hard way. But I want you to know, it's been an experience to me. I will never move out of New York City. Nobody can force me to go. I love this city. I built this city. I fought for this city. And I want you all to know that I am proud, not only to be a New Yorker, but to be American and a big-time Trump supporter. And I'm going to tell you one more little story, and I'm going to go. After my father died, my mother was very depressed, close to her door, and I told her to in the car to Zahava. My mother was very depressed. A beautiful woman. She was 50 years old. Couldn't believe she lost her husband, a powerful man. They were both survivors. And I remember she said, never open the door, never. And anybody who came to them, we used to have a lot of guests in our house. Always people coming for charity, people coming for dinners. But after my father died, my mother closed the door. Nobody was allowed in. We had a little charity box at the door. So when people came to collect, in our neighborhoods, people come all the time to collect $1, $5 of food. My mother and father always welcomed them in. During that year, it was very bad. And I remember one day I was standing in the foyer and somebody knocked on the door, just like that. I don't know what I was in there. I was 14 years old. I opened the door. It was a man, taxi cab hat, disheveled, a little dirty. And then my mother comes running to the top of the staircase. And she says, why did you open the door? I knew I was in trouble. You know when your mothers have those evil eyes ready to crush you. And I loved that lady. We became good friends over the next 40 years. And she looked down at me and I was shaking. She comes down the stairs. She sees the man. I knew she was going to slam that door. And I said, Ma, he's hungry. And I don't know what happened. She grabbed his hand, pulled him into the kitchen, sat him down, and she opened up the refrigerator and started taking out the chicken cutlets, peeling the potatoes, cooking the meal. And in 15 minutes, you saw that table set with the cucumber salads and the pickles and the fried chickens coming out. And she puts the food on the table. The man was so excited and he started to eat. And I'm looking at this. I couldn't believe all this. And my mother said to me, sit down and eat. And I remember eating those chicken cutlets. I can still taste it today. They were the best in the world.
Make me hungry.
It was because of the way which she did it with love. And of course, she taught me how to cook, so now I am the best chicken cutlet maker in the world. You're all invited to the house anytime you want.
All right, I'll hold you to it.
Well, my house is always open, baby. The door is like, trust me, baby, look at me. And this is what we do. We must never forget who we are. We must never forget to inspire the young. There are people less fortunate than us. No, you don't have to give everything away. We don't have to give everything up. We don't have to be taken and double taxed and triple taxed. And I'm not going to preach to you guys because you guys all know the deal what's going on here. But I want you to know, when you do something, you do it with love. You do it because you're inspired to do good. And you do it because I don't know if you believe in God or not, I believe in the Holy Maker. And I know one day I'll be standing in front of the Holy Maker, and Linda's going to be standing there too, saying, he didn't make enough money. You know, you all stay together. But I want you to know, I will stand there, I will answer for myself, and I want to tell you, Daniel, and the rest of you, thank you, may God bless you, God bless this great country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ashley. Okay, let's get into some of the announcements again. Okay. Let's see, very quickly, so again, we do have free Mets ticket on May 12th. If it's going to be Mets, so if you're interested, just let me know, so we have to know how many tickets we can give out. Okay? Against the Detroit Tigers on May 12th, okay? And time, okay, Jason? Okay. It should be available the first week of May, and that's when they issue the tickets. Okay, so we'll let you know then. Other announcements, Moms of Liberty, we just want to let you know they are doing a 250 years special in celebration of the American anniversary at Ellis Island. Unfortunately, the ticket is $1,500, but at least on behalf of Moms of Liberty, just want to make that announcement for you. Let's see. Anyone else want to make some announcements before we get to the guests and the speakers? Yeah, he'd be one of the guests. So anybody else wants to make some announcements? Okay, see no announcements. Let me get you some of the guests. Keith Gatson, okay, he's basically, well, I don't guess I'll let you describe yourself. All right, go ahead.
Oh shit, here we go.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Reverend Keith Gatson. I'm the second longest convicted person in this history of New York State. I did 32 years for a crime I didn't perpetrate, not to prove it. And this attorney has refused to admit that homicide. I wanted to say this, but we'll start from the beginning. I'm here in Queens in 1982. I witnessed a homicide, and I chased the suspect 2 miles, according to this news article, and I read it in Daily News. Ghost of a murderous Christmas past, convicted of 57 slain, he's freed and now began. Younger had been paroled after serving 20 years of his sentence, police said. Police said it was a near miracle that detectives were able to arrest Edgar within 2 hours of the more recent killing. A passerby witnessed the slaying, police said, then followed Edgar for more than 2 miles on foot. He shadowed him from the scene. That was me. I had graduated from the police academy, and at the time, I was married to a registered nurse, and I was a sanitation man. At the precinct that night, the officer, the detective, was trying to extrapolate information to narrate his own story. And when I mentioned it, I said, you keep stopping me and I'm trying to tell you. He looked up at me and said, well, you're the victim's pimp, a murder victim's pimp. No, I'm not a pimp. I work for the sanitation department and I'm happily married. I don't want to speak to you anymore. He got disgruntled, went to a file cabinet, and he took a legal photograph of me. That happened in 1982. In 1985, after that case was resolved, they picked me up, brought me to that precinct, assaulted me, and beat me up, and threatened to put a murder on me. I informed two attorneys in Bronx County and Queens County that they threatened to put a murder on me. 7 months later, they actually put a homicide on me. When I met this attorney, I gave him the 2 cards to the 2 lawyers and I said, call me. Let me tell you that I told him that they threatened to put a murder on me. He took the 2 cards. I was looking for my wife in the audience, and I heard the judge say, ready for a grand jury proceeding. He said, exclude. I turned around and said, no, I want to go to the grand jury. Of course, I want to tell the grand jury that they threatened to put a murder on me and assaulted me. So they denied that. Another hearing before this trial judge, I told the judge I don't want this man to represent me. He denied my right to go to the grand jury, and he refused to give me the documents pertaining to the case. I didn't get the documents until after I was convicted up in Clinton. And I discovered that they withheld a lot of evidence. They had an imposter detector come in and lie and said that they couldn't take fingerprints off the surface of this cab. And they did have fingerprints. My fingerprints was negative, but they withheld that. They had a sold-out witness, drug-addict prostitute, said it was a yellow cab, but the guy's car was black, and she didn't know when the homicide took place. They withheld her initial statement to the homicide detective that she didn't see anything. Obviously, she was telling the truth because, like I said, she didn't know the color of the cab was black, not a yellow taxi. So now, I went to 7 parole boards. I was sentenced to 20 years of life, and I kept saying that I didn't do it. I didn't do it, and they're screaming at me, commissioner, shut up, we're not here to retry the case and all that, right? So now, I went to Senator Veronica Montgomery was telling her about the corruption that was going on in my case. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, there was 2 surveillance cameras. There was a surveillance camera where homicide took place right there, and a secondary crime scene where they found this man's cab. They could tell all that, right? When I asked for freedom of information at request, they certified my entire case file was lost. That was in the 90s. Okay, so now, we did I got out by the behest of Senator Veronica Montgomery. And the only reason that they let me go was because they was asking for the trial transcripts of my hearings, 7 of them. And the way they was talking to me. They had me in there crying. I'm trying to explain the corruption that's going on every time. And I know they was going to hit me because they got an implement that says you got to go in there and tell them that you're remorseful for the crime you did. But an innocent man can't do that. And think about it. When a guilty man asks for surveillance camera, think about it. Just how the clever sky get 2 affidavits from 2 lawyers to confirm that I told them about these officers threatening to put a murder on me? No. But I got the affidavits anyway. But it didn't mean anything. So we do it. I'm going to try to sum this up real fast. We do a reacting homicide. And I want you to picture this. You have the district attorney in Queens, and Melinda Katz is the main DA, right? She has her district attorney conviction integrity unit come up the crime scene by herself. When I first met her, I said I had the documents with me. We can do a reacting homicide. When I first came home, I did a reacting homicide, and I asked 2 college students, if I'm standing here and you live 15 feet before into that corner, would you be able to ID me? And the female said, oh no, sir, that's too far. And that's just in the daytime. The homicide happened after midnight under poor street-like conditions. When I went to the district attorney's office, I saw those actual photographs of the crime scene. It was pitch black, dark, like you down south somewhere and you only got moonlight. That's how it was. But my lawyer, he went to the crime scene and took daylight photographs and had those photographs submitted to the jury to see a deception of how it actually looked. Okay, so now remember. All right, so now, picture the district attorney making $122,000 a year to $150,000 a year, and he's got a conviction integrity unit team that consists of detectives, paralegals, forensic experts to come in and analyze the distance, the observation distance, right? So now, when I get there, I see God told me to call somebody to come and do a video of it, right? So he came out there by himself. I offered him my binoculars. He said he still won't be able to see me, even with them. So what that tells you? That tells you, or draws a natural inference that he came out there prior to that night. And when I told him that observation distance was not accurate, it's too far, he went and inspected by himself. So he didn't want his conviction integrity unit to realize that it was humanly impossible to make an ID. So that's what you call prosecutor misconduct and obstruction of justice. He wrote a letter. This is the letter that he wrote to my attorney. And I'm going to read it in part. I'm writing to inform you that the CIU has completed its investigation and has been unable to substantiate Mr. Gadsden's claim. We have met repeatedly with both you and Mr. Gadsden to provide discovery. As part of the CIU's investigation, we sought to conduct both DNA testing and new fingerprint comparisons that might corroborate Mr. Gadsden's claim. So now, he's lying. he never met with me several times. Because if he'd have met with me, he'd have known that I had the fingerprint report. My fingerprints was negative. And the two other people who I was arrested with, their fingerprints was negative. So it corroborates what he's saying doesn't corroborate. And they're proclaiming that the NYPD Latin Prince Section LPS also conducted a search for the Latin prints collected in the case. But as informed the CIU that its file from the 1985 investigation could not be located. Now, my fingerprints does not match. The identification was humanly impossible. The question I pose, why is a man who's the director of the Conviction and Integrity Unit coming on the crime scene by himself? I did a full request for his investigation reports. And this is the response that I get. You further asked for the DA's vintage memorandum for the crime scene investigation, but again, this office does not have any such memorandum. And in fact, according to ADA Vintage, such memorandum was ever created.
Sir, are you running for office?
I'm a reverend, and I am a person who did 32 years for a crime we didn't commit. And at your mercy, sir. I don't mean to be too long or whatever, but I'm gonna sum this up real quick, right? I went to the governor, I went to the mayor, in a slew of Democratic parties, and they did nothing. Letitia James, she says that she doesn't have jurisdiction to investigate Melinda Katz. Can you imagine that? They're making all this money, and she goes after the Trump, have him arrested and indicted and all that, but she can't go after her friend.
Melinda Katz's Sleeper's wife. She's dirty, just
Yep.
like Sleeper.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like your boy
Yeah.
Sleeper. That
Yeah.
you told me that I was crazy with
Yeah.
that.
And so
Let's
I'm
go
gonna
ahead,
say
yeah, we need
this.
to move on with the
I'm
agenda.
gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. But I'm really dealing with facts. And nobody knows the tears that I have shed while I was in prison. I lost my wife, family members dying, they wouldn't even let me go to their funerals and stuff like that.
And I would love to hear your story.
And I got a video, I have the video of the district attorney actually refusing my offer for the binoculars, telling my video technician not to video his investigation. That's corruption. Because
The reverend will stay and defend any questions you have. Thank you. We're gonna start, yeah, we're gonna move on to basically the main part of the meeting.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you,
We're
Reverend.
gonna get you vindicated.
Democrats,
We're gonna get you judged off.
Republicans are equally as corrupt.
I thought they was about democracy, but I was blind, but now I see.
Party system.
Okay, well, so far we have about 10 candidates that's here right now. If any one of the candidates has a time restraint that needs to leave earlier, you're welcome to speak first. So anyone wants to speak, okay? Zahava, you can certainly, if you like, sit in one of the chairs that's up on the stage if you like. Here's a microphone for you. Okay.
You spoke all that time and you didn't come up that. Well, you get the flyers out.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me to speak here. Thank you, Danny, for hosting this lovely event. I'm so excited to be here. I'll just quickly introduce myself to the audience. My name is Zahava, and my name is Zahava Durchin. I'm running for New York State Assembly in District 41 in Brooklyn. And I've lived in Brooklyn my whole entire life for the last 25 years. I'm now 25, but I worked in the healthcare industry for a few years before running for office. So healthcare justice is very important to me, very personal to me. And I'm hopeful that together we can support healthcare for all New Yorkers, healthcare improvements for all New Yorkers. And I also worked in the education industry just for a little bit, and so I have a lot of friends who are teachers, who are currently working in the education industry. And something that's changed in the last few years in the education industry that's been rough on teachers is they're expected to not only teach a classroom full of students, but also respond to all of their mental health needs and all their behavioral needs. So they're acting as teachers and social workers, which is a little unfair because it's not exactly what they're trained for. So we would like to start expanding mental health resources in schools to address the needs of students and teachers. There's a lot on their plate right now, and we hope that by working together we can continue to support teachers and the mental health needs of students and parents, and, you know, have less classroom disruptions when students aren't seeing that their needs are met. Another thing that I'm hoping to address is the rising housing costs in Brooklyn and the rest of New York City. People like me are being told that we'll never be able to be homeowners in New York City just because prices are rising and we can't compete with those prices. So a lot of the younger generation, younger Gen Z and millennials are moving to other states like New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and it's sad to see New Yorkers leaving the home we grew up in and the city that we've lived in our whole lives. So it's another dream of mine to run for office and bring fair housing prices to younger New Yorkers who want to stay and continue living here. And fair living wages for all New Yorkers. Anybody who's been keeping up with recent annual reports of the cost of living in New York City is now up to $100,000 a year for one single person. And we all know that the minimum wage is not competing with that. It's not reflecting that. It's so keeping the minimum wage at a reasonable match to the cost of living is important. So just to conclude, my top 4 priorities in office would be healthcare justice, housing justice, and education, expanding mental health resources in the education industry, and a fair living wage for all New Yorkers.
Questions for Zahava? Any questions?
You want to get the Democrat?
Republican. Yeah, oh, it's nice, Republican.
Oh, okay. They sound like Democratic talking points.
You have a question?
What do you think of Mayor Mondani?
I'm open to working with all politicians in New York City and New York State. We all have to work together to improve lives for all New Yorkers. We all have the same dream, we all have the same vision, we all want to see improved living conditions for all New Yorkers.
Did you see today what Zoran Mondani said about the millionaire who is raising the taxes on his apartment in Manhattan, saying that he doesn't live there? And the activist from New York City, the Puerto Rican, Raul Rivera, who called him out at the supermarket that they're having in Spanish Harlem. Did you see any of that?
Yes.
I mean, as a Republican, I don't think you should straddle the fence. I think everyone needs to call out Mondani. Mondani is a disaster.
And Republicans will be looking to hold your feet to the fire, and they won't let you if you have a stance like that. I'll work with anybody. He's destroying New York City. What is the question? My question is, will she call out Zoran Mondani and not straddle the fence and just get up there and say, we'll work with anyone like that moron Curtis Lee with it?
That's the question.
Let's let her answer the question, yeah, let's let her answer.
Just to quickly address your question, I'm not running for mayor, I'm running for New York State Assembly. I'm not running against Zoran, I'm running against Tommy Yeager, who didn't even care to show up tonight to speak to voters, meet with voters, and express his policy plans, his vision for New York, his vision for Brooklyn. I'm the only candidate showing up here to represent District 41. So I appreciate the question, and if if you don't like him, you can vote for somebody else in 4 years. But for the next 4 years, we do all have to work together, even with people that we might not like.
Is there one last question?
Hi, nice presentation. I just wanted to ask you if you're the endorsed candidate or if you're being primary.
Yes.
Are the establishments pick? Or you?
Well, I haven't requested their endorsement at this point. I'm a younger candidate. You know, I don't think they've heard me yet, so.
Who's the GOP candidate?
I want to answer that. Can I answer that?
Go ahead.
I'd like to answer that. We do have issues with our party, the GOP, and we have some of our people that are nuts. And the BK GOP, I thought they were gonna change, but they did not. They not only endorsed a Democrat without a proper meeting, without proper writing, it is incorrect. And when they put the Democrat on as an executive committee member, I had enough votes to keep him off, and my chairman still put him on. So yes, I'm the one who brought Zahava to the table of Republican, and I am going to work on her little issues, and I do hate him down more than the rest of you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Helen.
Thank you so much.
Okay, next speaker is Marvin Williams, running for Congress in Nassau County.
All right.
Well, Marvin, would you please?
Go.
This is a hot seat?
Yes, it is.
How's everyone doing this evening? Good. Hey, just want to say thank you so much, Danny, for inviting me here. Really appreciate it. And I do hail from the 4th District, Congressional District in Long Island. I do hail from the 4th District in Long Island, and I found out today that I made the ballot.
Yes.
And so, of course, I'm not the pick of the party, but that's fine. That means we're going to have a primary in June 23rd. Yay! And so I have a lot of work to do before then, but my reason for being here today is because I'm going to be doing a dual party platform. I'm also going to be running as an independent. And so, of course, as you know, the process of petitions for independence started 2 days ago. And so over the next 4 or 5 weeks or so, I'm going to be canvassing, getting volunteers. And so if you know people who want to help me out in Long Island on the 4th District, and the 4th District is right here, covering the Queens line, right into Nassau County. It goes all the way down south to the ocean. You can't go any further unless you want to swim. And of course, all the way up north, right up to that Woodbury, Westbury line, going up to the northern part of Long Island, basically along the 3rd District. So my platform, just in case you're wondering, first thing I want to say is for the independent piece, basically is term limits. I am definitely concerned about term limits. That's something that I want to address. We do not need career, professional politicians. People who are in office for 30 years, people in office for 35 years, 40 years, we do not need career politicians. So that's one of my first agendas, being elected to Congress. I'm going to tackle that because I know no one else wants to tackle that issue, but I'm going to put it on the floor. We're going to get it in the bill, and we're going to get people to vote on this bill in this referendum. The second thing that I want to say is America first. It's all about America first. And I mean that in every sense of the word, that we must prioritize our country. We must prioritize our people. You know, I've heard somebody talk about affordability. I'm not going to tackle that tonight. But we need to have a policy and initiatives that will prioritize jobs and everything we need to do in America first. And my last one is veterans. I'm a 30-year veteran in the United States Air Force. And it pains me when I go to the VA in Manhattan, when I have to walk across, or when I have to talk to veterans who are out on the street, who can't get veteran services, they can't get the services they need. nobody's advocating. No one's advocating. I don't hear anyone advocating for veterans. So that's something that I want to do. We have some great veterans VA institutions in the city. Of course, in Long Island, we have a couple of, we have Northport, and we have a couple of clinics throughout Long Island. But we need to take advantage of this, and we need to get our veterans off the street, get them into programs, get them having a viable platform where they can be viable citizens in our community because they sacrificed their lives so that we could be here today. And so that's why I'm here before you. I appreciate your time, and I'm here if you have a couple of questions you want to ask me. But look up my website, Marvin Williams for Congress. Please, if you want to volunteer, please put your name there. I will get in contact with you and spread the word. And please be able to tell people, I need people to go out so that we can get those signatures for an independent campaign. Thank you.
Would your term limit idea, would it be similar to the presidential term limits where after 2 terms you're done for life? Or would it be like the local city term limits where if you take a break, you're allowed to serve non-consecutive terms and the term limit is reset back down to 0?
Absolutely, the latter. Yeah, because let's say you take that break, and you come back and you have a different position or something, or you see a need, a vacuum that needs to be filled, that has not been filled, and it gives you an opportunity as an experienced, legislator to come back to the process. So the latter, very good question. I love that question. Thank you.
So while I live in Queens right now, I was born and raised in the 4th District, Franklin Square, New York. So I just have a question, as someone who's very familiar with that district. In order to capture the district, the main areas you have to hit are Hempstead, Uniondale, Roosevelt, Freeport, West Hempstead, Lakeview area. What strategy do you have? Because if you can capture that area, you gain the district at that point. So what is your strategy for that?
He is absolutely correct. Absolutely. What is your name?
My name's Ronnie I.
He's absolutely correct. What he did not say is that those are the most underrepresented areas in the 4th District. I mean, for example, they don't even go into legislators and candidates don't even go into the areas that he just named. They don't go to Roosevelt. They don't go to Freeport. They don't go to Uniondale. And my answer is, I am campaigning in those areas. I'm going to walk the streets. I'm going to knock on doors. We're going to have sessions. I was talking to the Hempstead mayor the other week, and I said, hey, we want to have some platforms. He said, let me know, Marvin, what you want to do. And so we're going to do things in all of those areas because they will not be underrepresented anymore. Good question.
Any other questions before we go to the next candidate? Okay, thank you very much, Marvin. We'll wish you well.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Any other candidates who have time who needs to be married? Thank you.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay.
You want to take the stage?
No, I'm closer to the people.
Okay.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Ramses Frias. It's good to be back here. Good to see all the familiar faces. First and foremost, thanks to Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, allowing us the time to be here together. My brother, how you doing? And I come here as I'm running for State Assembly. Thank you for wearing my shirt right here. I see you, thank you very much. Running for State Assembly District 39, that's Elmhurst, Jackson Heights, Corona, Middle Village. The places that are always hit the hardest with crime, prostitution. Now we got a casino going up that nobody wants, right? Causing so many issues, so many more problems that's gonna happen for us in our area and in Queens. So I put myself in the position again, putting people through stress, my family, my children, for them to back me up Because I have a position here, and I have a stance, and I have a voice that needs to be heard, that needs to be in the forefront, to let people know that we are standing for us, that we will not take the crime, the punishment, the pain, and the problems that keep going on in our neighborhoods. We were hit the hardest during COVID. So many people passed away in our neighborhoods. And we don't have enough hospitals, we don't have enough clinics to take care of the number of people that constantly get sick in our area. So as State Assembly, I will fight to bring in more funds for hospitals, for growth, right? I'm also very strong on public safety. This is something that I fight for each and every time. Every time when I ran for city council, I ran on public safety. When I'm running right now for state assembly, I'm running on public safety. Because right now, as much as they say that crime is down, it isn't. We see it every day on the news. If you have the Citizens app, that thing goes off almost every 15 minutes. We have people committing arson. We have people committing violent crimes regularly. This isn't even, just a one-of. This is just every time you look down or you look at this TV, someone was hurt, shot, stabbed, killed, murdered. This needs to stop. Along with the human trafficking that's been allowed to happen in my neighborhood for the past 43 years, and I'm 45. And I can look back 43 years of news coverage in Elmhurst, Queens, with the problem of human trafficking and gangs running these brothels and prostitution rings. So this is going to continue. We're just going to allow this to happen and allow the representatives of this area to stay quiet? No. It's time to speak up. It's time to stand up for the little guy. It's time to be a real New Yorker. It's time to be a real American. We don't allow ourselves to get beat down. We don't allow ourselves to get hurt. We stand up for each other. We represent for each other, and we help each other. Jesus taught you to love your neighbor. And this is what we're going to do. Protect ours. Protect those that live here. Protect those that need the help. Not to stay quiet, not to put on horse blinders, but to stand up and be real with yourselves, for your families, for your friends, for your loved ones, for your neighbors. The time has come for us to stand up and to be real with each other. I'm also very strong on education. We need more schools. Our areas are being inundated with people every single day. Population is growing. And our schools are being bombarded. There's not enough room for them. So I'm big on funding these schools, especially schools that offer trades. We need people to learn skills that can take care of infrastructure, that can do electrician work, that can do plumbing. Right? We need this for our city to grow and to be better. So these are the things that I'm going to fight for, and I'm going to continue to fight for every single day, even if I'm not in office, because I have a big mouth. I'm half Haitian, I'm half Dominican, and I'm a very proud New Yorker. So I won't stay quiet for anything. All right? I will represent every single day, and I don't care who gets in my face, because I put them in their place immediately. Not one politician in my area likes it. Why? Because I call them out on all their crap. Everything that they've done wrong, I tell them to their face. And they hate it. They all got me blocked on every social media outlet they have. I can't send a message, I can't tag them on anything, but I still rip them a new one every chance I get.
Like who?
Catalina Cruz, who right now is suing me to get me off of the ballot. Right? We have Jessica Gonzalez Rojas, another one, pro casino. Can't stand you. All right? Steve Raga, another one. I get at him. Who else we got over there? Jessica Ramos, who ran for mayor. Even though she's fighting right now hard to keep her position, because they're going against her, the Democrat Party is already turning the machine against their own. Right? Because she doesn't stand for the casino. That's the only thing that's holding her afloat. Other than that, all the liberals and all the weirdos over there, they're gonna tear it up. They're gonna tear her up and they're gonna get her out of there. But I've called her out many times on her stuff. Shekhar Krishna, who I ran against. Mr. Nobody. Mr. I'm never around. Mr. I don't even go into the areas that I represent. We got potholes all over 90th Street, Roosevelt Avenue, problems. We have garbage all over 73rd Street. If you go to 73rd and Roosevelt, you're gonna see nothing but a huge garbage dump. Right? Illegal street vendors everywhere, and they leave their garbage everywhere, nobody cleans up. Rats running around.
Cockroaches.
Everything. It's just garbage. It's a garbage dump. It used to be in College Point, they moved it over to Jackson Heights. Alright? That's the new garbage dump. But these are the things that I've been constantly fighting against, and what I've been calling them out on, and all of them just turn tail, run away. They see me, they put their head down. Nobody ever wants to talk to me face to face. Nobody ever wants to sit down with me. I'm just a regular guy. I'm a dad. Right? I got 2 kids, one in college. My son's about to graduate high school. This is what I do. I'm just a regular guy. I work in healthcare. I help people get health coverage every single day. I help them renew their health coverage. Giving people an outlet and a reason to do things. And I'm trying to show them that a regular guy can cause some pain out there for those that are causing pain to us. Alright? I stand up for the little guy because I'm still the little guy as big as I am. I'm not going to take any crap from anybody, and I'm going to represent for each and every one of you as much as I can. So if you can, again, my name is Ramses Frias. You can find me just about everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, RAMSES, last name Frias, FRIAS. And I'm going to be here representing for you. Any questions for me?
Now, he's doing 2 independent lines there, basically for our immigrants and also love your neighbor. So if you're interested in joining up with him, perhaps the 13th Senate District, he will help you make it happen.
That is correct. That is correct. I'll be running Republican and independent.
For the things that you say you want increased funding, are you going to cut spending in other areas or increase taxes?
I do not want to increase taxes. I want to cut taxes for the middle income individuals, for our real workers, for the people that really fund New York. They need tax cuts. Homeowners need tax cuts. I want to get rid of the unnecessary spending that is constantly out there. Well, a lot of programs that we would have to revise and look over, that we see if they're receiving way too much money on, is going to have to get cut off. It's just a lot of fraud going on these days, so these are the things that we have to look into. We're looking into, right now, Nick Friedman just did a report on the Child Center of New York over here in Corona, where they are providing programs to kind of alternate a child's mind and have them become pro-changing who they are. If they're born male, they're kind of like forcing this mind change of, oh no, you know what, you could be a girl, or you could be this, or you could be that. These are things that, why are we giving our public funds to
So you're going to draw up a list of things that you think should be cut?
Of course, yes. I'm doing the research on that now, and then we'll definitely be working on. I want to get rid of all unnecessary spending. That's point one, right? Our money should be going back to fixing our neighborhoods and taking care of the children in our neighborhoods and providing community centers, of which you don't see anymore.
Yep.
Right? There's no central place that anybody can go to and actually meet with individuals, like-minded individuals in the area, and have a space for doing artwork, learning music. My neighborhood is full of artists from all types of genres, but there's no place for them to actually congregate and to do something. I have graffiti artists. These guys, as much as they're doing things in the wrong way, but if I could put them on canvas, they can make wonderful artwork, opposed to causing crap out there. So these are a lot of the things that we need to change.
What about affordable housing?
How you doing, sir? Yeah, what do you think about local law 97? It's going to destroy affordability in New York City. is very bad, and they're vultures, and they think they're gonna get rid of, reduce our carbon footprint. That's nonsense, because they get money, the lobbyists are giving money for them to promote this law, and it's gonna be a real disaster for people who are, you know, not rich, you know.
All right, so I don't want anyone to feel like they're being bombarded. This is the problem, right? We're getting attacked from so many areas, especially with the mayor that is causing all these issues for everybody, making it seem like we're trying to make everything affordable when it's not, all right? Regardless, everything is gonna go up. But we need to make sure that everybody starts getting a livable wage, right? But we have to do it accordingly. We can't just boost up everybody's money and then think that everything is just gonna be okay. All right, so things have to be done accordingly, and we have to make sure that everybody gets their fair share. And this gentleman mentioned affordable housing. We definitely need that, but we need it done correctly. Because right now, what the city's planning on doing is giving up all these contracts to all these contractors to build these things, and it's not enough affordable housing within these places. And all they're making is shoe boxes, all right? They're not making anything good for people to live in that have a large family, right? You're not getting the opportunity. And I want homeowners, I don't want renters. I want us to be independent. I want people to be able to make money, own property, and have something that they can give back to their children in the future. It's not just, oh, we rent here, we live here, and then that's it. No, we should be able to own. We need to be the owners, not the city, not the state, not the government, the way the socialists want it, the way the communists want it. We have to be the owners. We need less government. We need more for the people.
Amen. Any other questions before we go to the next candidate? Donald?
Real quick, since you talked about trades and skilled education, have you ever considered reaching out and trying to appeal to unions, union leadership, and because there seems to be, as someone who is in a union, you see at the rank and file level, there's like an uprising and a shift in mentality and support of what they want to see politically and ideologically.
Thank you for that. So, I love the unions, not for nothing, all right? Years ago, the Republicans were actually pushing for unions, all right? You can look that up. Now, the problem is, the heads of those unions are all full with the Democrats. All they do is run for them. I've tried to talk to them and have them support me because I have a lot of friends that are in unions. I have one that's he's a supervisor, shop steward, and all these guys are like really close friends of mine. And they all be like, oh, Ramses, what you say is great. I really want you to make it. But you guys can't even back me. But it's not their fault, right? They're there to work, they're there to do a job, they're there to make their money. But the higher ups, I sat in a meeting to the person that endorses everyone. It's a young Spanish lady. Spoke to her, got real cool, never heard from her again. Reached out, emails, texts, nothing, quiet. They don't want to mess with us, right? They don't want to mess with a Republican. They don't want to skew that line. They don't want to make it seem like they're all of a sudden turning. You see every time a Democrat goes running, the teachers union runs for them, DC 37, Local 3, all of them. They all go straight to a Democrat, regardless of who's running as a Republican or as an independent. They just go straight to them. The hotel union, straight to the Democrats. Why can't I represent you guys? You guys are part of the city. You guys are part of the state. We all got to work and live together. Why can't you listen to what we have to say? Why is it all just one-sided? And this is the issue that we face every single day. We have problems all the time with this. So I'm just going to do my best. And like I said, I make noise. I'm annoying. I bother people. I get in their face. And I'll bring that issue up every single time.
Thank you very much, Nancy. Another candidate who has time restraints, who needs to leave early? Anyone? Okay, so it's okay. So now it's just volunteers. Who would like to go next?
Yahemia, would you
Come
like
on,
to go
guys,
next?
come on, guys, come on, guys. Get on up here.
Would you like to sit in this chair? Yes.
I would love to sit in this chair. I'm a Leo, so this is just doing something to me. Hello, guys. My name is Yahemia. I am the candidate for the 50th District Assemblywoman. The 50th District is in Brooklyn, Brownsville, East New York, West Side, Crown Heights, and Ocean Hill. And you know what's funny about Ocean Hill? That's not wrong. Okay, so I'm new to this, but I'm not new to speaking. I love my community. I lived in my community for over 30 years. My thing, and the reason why I'm running, is because of the love I have for the community. I grew up in a community where we had a village. And in this village, it took everybody, neighbors, community leaders, district leaders, everybody played a part in building a community. And as I grow, I see the transitioning of it's no longer being a village. Everybody is for self. And that's something that I would like to change. The ways I would like to change that is, one, by being here, being a part of the community board. Also, by focusing on the youth. Yeah, can I say that? Sure. Okay. I'm sitting here, not nervous, but falling into, not falling, I'm being myself, playing a character. So let me stand up and speak. So, I stand here as the voice of my community, as the voice of the youth. And the reason why is because I grew up in this community for 30 years, and as a child, like I said, I saw a lot of people come together to do block parties, do things like the guy who spoke before me, the community centers. And now we don't have that anymore. And 95% of my community, are y'all familiar with Ocean Hill?
Yes.
Brownsville? East New York, okay. So 95% of that community is youth. There's people who's going to jail from the ages.
Yep.
It's getting lower and lower. When I was growing up, it was from 16 to 25. But now I have children that's 13 years old and even younger that's outside doing things that, like they in a game. They don't realize that life is real. And it's because they have the lack of resources. They don't have people in the community that really voice what it is that they need. My district was ran by the Democrats forever. I'll be the first Black representative. I'll be the first Black representative, Republican representative. I'm sorry. I'm nervous, but I'm sorry. Because I have so much to say, but it's just like I'm not really prepared for this start. But I'm saying,
You're doing great.
thank you. I'm here to just tell my truth. My truth is, I didn't have access to resources. I didn't have people like you guys give me a voice. I didn't feel like my voice counted, and that's probably why I feel nervous, because now I am seeing that I do. And standing in front of you, I was like, all right, what should I say? Am I saying the right thing? Should I be politically correct? But
No, never.
let me be real.
Be yourself, just be yourself.
Be myself. Okay, thank you. The Democrats represented my neighborhood for over centuries. And for years, what I've seen, the 30 years I've seen is that constant youth going to jail. I see programs being around the neighborhood, but not really in the neighborhood. I see representatives that come in front of me and promise me a million things and didn't do nothing. And I was a Republican for 9 years. And as a Republican, I volunteered in a community where I helped different Democrats because they represented the neighborhood. And I assume because y'all my color, y'all my people, y'all supposed to represent me, that y'all gonna do things. So I went outside and used my influence to get the youth involved. And then once they got in office, they forgot about us. So I'm a living example. I have lived experience, and I'm a little nervous because I don't know the right language. But from my lived experience, I know that I'm tired of being lied to. I'm tired of being used. I'm tired of being used as a pawn so that they could get in office, and once they get there, they change everything that they said that they were going to do. I marched with Black Lives Matter. I was believing in the change. But once Biden got in office, I watched how the buses ran right over it. And they done forgot all about what they promised us. And the people that I helped get into office by verbally advocating, yeah, I know that they're gonna do this, and I believe that they can because they're my color, they're from the neighborhood, and just because I'm a Republican and a Democrat, they still gonna do, because this is what they're supposed to be about. But then I realized I was being brainwashed and lied to and used. And then now that I'm in a position where I can advocate for myself, and that's why I got nervous in the beginning. I'm getting comfortable. I'm in a place where I can advocate for myself and use my voice. I get a little nervous because I'm so used to saying, hey, believing that my voice didn't count. But I think the Republicans would show me, no, your voice do count. Your voice matters. They showed me in the past years by nominating me and putting me in places where I can speak in front of people and telling me, okay, it's all right, you nervous, you can do it. And that's what I want to do to my neighborhood. I want to continue on advocating for them and telling them that you can do it and stop being brainwashed. It's okay to think for yourself. And you don't have to be canceled because you believe something else. And yes, it is on two genders. Like, what is the other side? Like, common sense is not so common. So I'm standing in front of y'all, nervous and all, but grateful for the opportunity to let you know where I stand from. I'm moving from lived experience, and I'm learning as I transition. Originally, I was an event organizer. As an event organizer, I put together events for my community board. I did block parties where I was rewarded for being 1 out of 3 projects that didn't have no balance at the block party, where I brought communities together, different people, and we had fun for a day, and we enjoyed ourselves. But the whole summer, I had a dance group that we taught, had the older kids raised from 3rd grade to about, I'll say 21. I had them working throughout the summer, creating dances, creating themes and different things that they could perform for Ocean Hill Day. I also volunteered in the local school, zone school, because they didn't have simple things like a gym. So what we did was organize a game night, and I volunteered on the PTA board, and I got involved in doing stuff for the youth. And like he said, the guy who spoke before me, the youth is lacking resources. They lacking people to speak up for them. They don't really have many role models that they have big role models, but they don't have good, positive role models. And the ones that are from the community are leaving the community because of the policies that's in the community and the lack of affordable housing, the lack of community centers, the schools not giving the kids what it is that they're supposed to have. But when you could go to another community, as my son got twin boys, they went to 155, that's the zone school in Ocean Hill. And when they was in 155, I took them out of 155 because they didn't have a gym. They had no after school program. They didn't have, they had too many kids in the classes. They didn't have enough security guards, little things like that. And then they building charter schools. And then the zones, the kids that live in the project in the neighborhood can get in the zone schools, but in the charter schools because it's different things. It's a lottery. It's like in order for you to get things that you're supposed to miss, that's necessary, you have to win a lottery. To get an affordable apartment, it have to be a lottery. Like he said before, I'm sorry, I'm wrong there. Like he said before, with the affordable housing is 100 apartments. 70% of it goes to low income. 30% of it really goes to, 70% of it goes to employed people. Only 30% of it goes to low income. Then out of that 30% is split into 3 different genres, which is people with vouchers, then it's disabled, and then it's I guess people on the people or something like that. I'm not too familiar with the exact language. But those things like that is a gimmick that they putting out there that make it seem like it's really affordable housing. When it's people that's homeowners that wanna rent out. I wanna be able to buy a house, be able to rent out to somebody and teach them how they can buy a house and maybe have a community garden that we building and farming and, growing on our own land and putting us first. So I said a lot, and I was going, and I was nervous. But I'm standing on being a voice of the youth, putting us first, making sure that we have enough jobs in the community. And why is it that I have to go all this to Manhattan in order to do a security job when security jobs in my neighborhood where I could be able to secure my neighborhood and talk to the kids that's probably doing something wrong because they're familiar with me. Now it's not just, little Timmy, what are you doing? I want to tell your mom. It's not, I'm sending him straight to jail because little Timmy, I don't know who little Timmy is. He looked like he's, doing something real bad, but honestly, he's just acting up because he's going through changes, he's growing, he don't know how to deal with that. Mental health is one of the things I deal with. I'm big on too, because I'm in Brownsville. There's a lot of trauma going on in Brownsville. Everybody wondering.
Doing great, you're flowing very well. I'm gonna move on to other candidates, but do you have any questions for Yahemia?
You have any questions? I'm running against the Cheese Walker. The Cheese Walker been in office for 9 years. And this is that's one of the people I had campaigned for when I first started. And that's somebody who also made me feel like I was used. She promised me things in the community that she was gonna do, and it didn't happen. So it's personal to me, because I feel like we need change. And I want to be the voice of change. So if I'm doing a lot, I'm sorry. This is my first time doing this. So I can talk when I got comfortable, I started going. Any questions? Anybody?
Hi. Okay, great. That's fine.
Thank you.
Hello. It's me. Hi. I just want to commend you for running. I helped out Bernita Jackson in that district 2 years ago. I got her to the circle line. I know it's a hard district, and I wish you all the best. What inspired you to run? A couple short sentences.
What inspired me to run is because I knew that we needed to change. And I knew I could be the person to make the change. When I was 7 years old, my father got killed. So that was my motivation there. But then when I became an adult, I wanted to be able to show people that your voice matters.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. Anyone want to go next? Any volunteers? Great Hach. You want to say one?
I've never sat and done a talk before, so I'm gonna give it a shot. But Danny, thank you so much for having me here today. I really appreciate it. Thank you all for being here. I really enjoy being in a room like this because this is what it takes to really make a change. It really does. I'm talking about the candidates. I'm talking about the people in this room. People who are actively engaging with the process. I think that's what we really need and what we're missing. I'm running for Congress in New York's 3rd Congressional District. And some of the things that the previous speaker brought up are some of the reasons I'm running. You don't know who to trust anymore. I mean, you really don't. It's disgusting to me that you can't trust your elected leaders. They're getting up there, they're making decisions that are against the interests of the very people that put their trust in them to represent them. And that's why I had to step up. And as I did, I learned a lot about the process and how dirty and corrupt the process is. It really is. It's disgusting to me. Playing around with the ballot petitions, putting pressure on insurgent candidates, people who just want to serve their community. And I'm one of them. I grew up in the district. I grew up in modest surroundings. I worked since I was 13 years old. I worked on a landscaping truck, washing dishes, going to public school. And I wanted to serve my country after high school. So I enlisted in the United States Air Force. I served, like the previous speaker, I also get a little, not nervous, but I don't take compliments too well or whatever, but I appreciate it. But yeah, I served in the United States Air Force abroad in Europe in the final years of the Cold War. I came back, I worked a full-time job, I put myself through law school, got out of law school, I got out of law school, it was right around 9/11 happened. So I built two law firms in New York, two of the top law firms. I stepped away from them so that I can run for Congress. I think that what we're missing today are people that we can trust. So I have a very specific way that I'm going around about establishing that trust. And the way that I'm doing that is making sure that people know that I'm not controlled by donors, elite party bosses. What we're missing today is trust trust between the electorate and the representatives. And there's a statistic out there, less than 10% of Americans trust their members of Congress.
Yep.
Less than 10%. The number is actually abysmally low for the media as well. And that's very difficult to reconcile when you have, to be able to get people to get up here and actually represent you. So what I did is I built an infrastructure around the local party because the party didn't even interview me. I am absolutely ready and capable and competent to be able to represent the people in this room and the people in my district. And my only goal, and I consider it a great privilege, to be able to make decisions that are going to improve the lives of 775,000 people. I would consider that a great success in life to be able to do that, to be able to bring greater prosperity, jobs, more security, safer streets, better schools, and everything that we need to be a prosperous and functioning society. But we don't have that. We have infighting. We have biased media. I mean, the media itself, the mainstream media. I mean, really. I mean, do these people actually call themselves journalists these days? I mean, they push propaganda and agenda daily, every single day. I don't see anything that resembles journalism outside of independent journalists these days. So that's where I get a lot of my news. I get it from reliable sources. And I like ground news. Ground news is very good because it tells you exactly what it'll give the article, and it'll give a bar graph based on is this left leaning, is it equally distributed amongst the two parties, the two sides. So it's actually a very good tool to use, aside from everything else that I read a lot. But I also consider it a great privilege to be able to run for Congress, to get up here in front of people who care about this country and love this country like I do, to be able to get up here and say with a straight face that, hey, listen, I'm the only one in this. I'm the only one I'm running a primary. I'm being primaried. I made the ballot. I'm not being contested. Yeah, that was, as everybody in this room knows, it's a very difficult thing. So kudos to everybody out there who made the ballot. I know it's a tough job. And kudos to everybody who steps up to do this. I met some amazing people. I actually learned that I love campaigning. I love getting out there and engaging with the people of my community to learn how to be the best possible candidate I can be. I think that's my job as a candidate. I did this to the exclusion of everything else. I stepped away from my law firms. I stepped away from every other activity and job that I was doing to do this because you deserve that. You deserve a candidate who's going to get up here and he's going to work hard every day, which I've been doing for 5 months, and I think it shows. Our campaign is really crushing every metric out there. I'm also putting up $1 million of my own money. And the sad thing about that is that a lot of people can't do that. There's a lot of good candidates out there that can't do that. And unless you've been getting coffee for the party bosses for 20 years, you're not gonna get it either. So that's a problem, and I think that brings the wrong type of people to run for Congress. There's also, we're on the eve of the 250th anniversary of our country. And we're seeing a real referendum on the nasty things that go on in our Congress. Eric Swalwell, all these different things that are going on, people dropping out of these races because they're just bad people. These are people who are usually grifters, like Tom Suozzi, who we're going to be running against in the general. Tom Suozzi is one of the most prolific traders in Congress. Now, what he did in 6 years, he raised his net worth 450%. I'd love to get those returns, so I'm going to knock him out of Congress and have him manage my money. But what do you think that does? When you can go to Congress, be exposed to information that the general populace, the people that you represent, don't have, and multiply your net worth over and over and over again. He's made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trades. He's made tons and tons of money. He made double the returns that Nancy Pelosi made in 2025. Double. I mean, she's the she-wolf of Wall Street. But if you can do that, who do you think that encourages to run? It encourages someone exactly like Tom Suozzi, who comes in, he self-deals, does everything for himself, and when it comes time to campaign, he's painting himself as a moderate. He's painting himself as a man of the people. And he's slick at it. Don't get me wrong. He's slick at it and he's good at it, but we're calling him out at every turn. I mean, we also have seen fraud all over this country, right? It started in Minnesota, billions and billions of dollars. We're talking Illinois, California, New York.
Yes.
And what's Tom Suozzi's solution? Not looking where our hardworking and hard-earned money is going. He's trying to just raise taxes. He said it outright that he's going to raise taxes if he gets back in. So it's incumbent upon us to make sure he does not get back in. And we need to look where our money's going. So that's that. I just want to thank you all. God bless America. God bless all of you. I'm running for Congress in New York's 3rd Congressional District. You can go to www.greghach.com. That's GREGHACH.com. We don't have any party support, but we have great grassroots support. We're getting volunteers every day. We have momentum. We have huge social media reach. We have media. So we're doing very well, and we're going to keep doing better because I'm working my ass off to make sure I'm the best possible candidate for the primary and the best damn candidate for the general, and we're going to beat them.
So we have about 8 more candidates, unfortunately, that need to speak. So the candidates going to stay to answer your questions. Next, Helen Q. Would you Helen to speak?
Website again, please?
Oh, that's greghach.com. That's GREGHACH.com.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, Queens Republican Club. I'm Helen here. I traveled 1 hour and 45 minutes to come here to see you. Why? Because I love you.
We love you too.
And because you love me. I have been running in Lower Manhattan for 4 years, since 2022. And from the very beginning, your club has been supportive of me. And Danny has consistently invited me over for speech and to meet with you. And a lot of you gave me the donations and support, so I will never forget. And today I bring some gifts to give you, T-shirt, hat, and small bags. I hope you like them. Last year I ran for City Council in Lower Manhattan, where Wall Street is, where New York City originated. Some of you may have remembered. We have a lively conversation. I received very good questions. I get to answer them. We did very well last year. My overall vote count increased to 12,504 votes. And my percentage is the best in the entirety of Manhattan. And there is a very different environment than Queens here. If you go to Manhattan, you can see the dense population and a dense need of social services. So Republicans have a very difficult time in penetrating through the thick brick of Democrat over majority. So my effort in Lower Manhattan has made a dent to that very difficult hard ground. And I have received 31% of the votes. And among them, among the 12,000, only 2,000 are from Republicans. Either good or bad news if you can take it. So I received bipartisan support for over 10,000 votes. However, on the other hand, we have 8,000 Republicans, but I only get 2,000 votes. So I think one of the great things we can do is, even though you are in Queens, but if you have the extra bandwidth to help me out, to join my campaign, to make a difference in our Republicans' profile in the entire city, I invite you to join my campaign and reach out to the fellow Republicans and ask them, hey, be like us in Queens. Come out to vote. Because look, we keep our street beautiful and clean, but you guys definitely need the model from us. So please come out to vote like us. So I want your club spirit to go all the way to Manhattan. And I want your voice to echo there, to outreach to Republican there, to bring your good spirit, bring your faith, bring your hope to that hard ground. Because whoever is elected in Manhattan affects your life here. The reason that Mandani got overwhelming votes is not because of overwhelming people in Queens voted for him, but because overwhelming people in Manhattan voted for him. So I hope you do not overlook the importance of Manhattan, even though it's a much harder ground. But with 4 years of hard work and your support, I have penetrated to 30%. So if you can help me to achieve a little bit more, we will achieve victory one day together. And when I did that, it would not only be a victory for Manhattan, but it will be a victory for all our GOP. And then it will be a victory for Queens. Because I will not only work for my district in Manhattan, but also in my, for you as well. I'm sorry, yes, a question?
Your website, yeah.
Oh, I do not have the funding, so I don't have a website yet, but my last year's website.
I got you.
Okay, thank you, Jason. But I already, thank you. I already have a website from last year. My policy have not really changed over the past 4 years. I want guns, more guns, less crime, right? So I want guns. I want Queens to have guns, I want Manhattan to have guns. If there is a big population move from Texas to New York, guess what? Our crime will drop by 50%. I can bet that on that. So I want guns, I want low tax for business. That gentleman is so generous to use $1 million of his money, but I hope that money is being used so we can have a good business environment for everybody in New York. I want New York, New York was the capital of our country, but New York did not continue, but we chose to be the economic center, financial center of our country. So let that be. I don't want business to leave.
Thank you very much, Helen.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and I have gifts here. If you have donated, gentlemen, I know you have. Please come and get one from me. Thank you. And I have nice hat. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Philip Sean Grillo, a Republican candidate in the 26th Assembly District. Looks like I'm on the ballot. Got there. We got there because of all of you. Many people in this room helped me petition. Legitimate signatures at the door. Okay? You know, I did not get the party's endorsement. So I have to go ahead and petition to get on the ballot. My petition was so strong that they couldn't even object and do specifications to it. That's how hardcore it was. My petition was a mandate. You know, it's very sad that they would rather leave assembly seats run unopposed by the Democrat machine. We have somebody right here, DJ Elf, who is running for Mandani's old assembly seat. Now, I was personally there at his interview with the Queens County GOP. I was right there. And the vice chairman of the Queens County GOP asked DJ Elf if he needed clothes because he's been having a hard time. If he needed clothes. And he asked him, "What size are you? What size clothes are you?" And he replied, I was right there, medium, okay? Okay, so he wanted to run and get the endorsement from the Queens County GOP. They said no. And he went out and got the signatures to get on the ballot, and he did it. But wait, it gets even better. The Queens County GOP didn't even want to run anybody for Mandani's old seat. They were going to leave it empty. And they didn't give them the nomination. So this is what's going on. Because it's a non-aggression pact. They have a non-aggression pact with the Democrats. These party officials. I was with them for many years. Well, we're not going to run anybody against this one because we want this and we want that. And, you know, this is what's going on. So I'm very happy to have gotten on the ballot with the help of a lot of people in this room. Our state is in complete disarray. While I was out there meeting voters, knocking on the doors, I had senior citizens answering the door in their jackets and their hats. I said, my God, are you okay? Well, my electric bill is through the roof, we can't afford it. We're talking about seniors who, their family has moved. Like their kids are in Long Island or Connecticut. It's two seniors in the house, $1,300 a month, electric bill in Little Neck and Douglaston. And some of the problem with that is that Rikers Island has been turned into a battery center. Rikers Island has been turned into a battery center to store electricity. Okay? And then the state sell, this is what they want to do to Rikers Island. Then so that the state can go ahead and sell the electricity to Con Edison. Now everyone's paying for service lines and so on and so forth. It's out of control. A house in Florida with air conditioning running 24 hours a day is $125 a month. $1,300 for a house in Little Neck and Douglaston in the 3rd Congressional District? It's out of control. Where is that money going? This is a big issue. And I'm speaking about electricity because we have a law that's sitting on Governor Hochul's desk. I call her Governor H2O, Hillary Clinton 2.0, because they're the same person. Governor Hochul and Hillary Clinton are buddies. They're the same people. Now, it's a law called Local Law 97. Has anyone heard of it? Yes. Okay. It's an electric mandate. It's communism. And it's sitting on her desk because it's been tabled. Because she has an election this November. After the election, well, the Democrats wouldn't do that. Yeah, we keep saying that. From impeachments to this to that. We don't underestimate the Democrats to do something like that. They're lying to you. Governor Hochul, as soon as she gets elected, hopefully she doesn't, we have a great Republican candidate Out there we have Bruce Blakeman. Hopefully he beats her, God willing, because if he doesn't, we are going to be strangled with our utility bills. And if you don't pay your electric bill, they shut it off. It's a necessity. You see? You're going to find that money if you have to take out a second mortgage. This is what's going on. This is what's going on with that local law number 97. Rest assured, she wins in November. The very next day, she's going to sign that into law. The green new scam. Local law number 97. Everybody's going to have to convert their boilers, everybody, to electric. It's out of control. They're going to cut off the gas. You can't have you won't be able to have a gas stove in your house anymore. It's going to have to transfer over to be electric. And look at your electric bill now. And you have gas stoves. Wait till you have to have an electric stove. What the electric bill is going to be. Oh, you don't pay your electric bill? Now we're going to, start fining you. You don't do it, you don't transfer over. It's communism. It's communism, not even socialism. It's communism. They're forcing it on you. Something that everybody needs to survive. Electricity. That's what they're doing. But I'm here to tell you that I'm going to beat the Democrat in November. That's for sure. In the 26th Assembly District. I'm going to do it one door at a time. We're coming out after him. He hasn't had a viable candidate in years running against him. He's only had candidates that were placeholders. Just sit there and say nothing. Not campaigning at all. Everyone says, oh, he's a nice guy. He's a Democrat. Nice guy. Yeah, nice guy who signed into law. We all know about it. The day of birth, where they were clapping to talk about having a discussion about a child's life on the day of birth. They were clapping in Albany with Cuomo. And then the guy's going to church. He's a Roman Catholic. He's going to church with his family, young kids. He signed the bill to kill your kids and your grandkids. But he goes to a Roman Catholic church with his kids every Sunday. This is the incumbent. Yeah, give me one more second, Danny. I appreciate it because this is important. These people have forked tongues. They say one thing out of one side of their mouth and do the other. I guarantee it. You heard it here first. As soon as Governor Hochul gets elected, the incumbent in the 26th Assembly District is going to sign on to local law number 97 and squeeze all of you with local law number 7. I guarantee you heard it here first. She's going to sign it as soon as she's into office. And you can wait till you see your electric bill in 2027. Thank you very much.
I'm going to have every speaker to have to recruit.
By the way, Big Bill's exactly right. They're trying to also make mandatory air conditioners in all the buildings because they're making a lot of money off the electric industry. So thank you so much, Bill, for that. That was an amazing speech right there. And also, just so you know, I want to give a big shout out to Daniel Mayo, by the way. He's actually thank you. Yeah. Just so you know, guys, the stories come out in the Post soon. We just filed paperwork to kick AOC off the working family ballot line. We're going to see if those specs get through, okay? These DSA Democrats will not make any moves easily, but to tell you the truth, here's the sad truth. The fact of the matter is that DSA is kicking our butts. They're out here, they got all the kids running door to door right here. Now I know a lot of people out here are warriors, like Brandon Castro. I'm really impressed by this guy, the way he goes door to door. I know there's a lot of people running for candidates too that have gone door to door to get petition signatures, right? This is very essential work. We need to start training our people up. So I'm gonna keep it short. The reason why I'm running, right, before I say, I just want to stick one more thing in because I always put my friends first. And the thing is that, honestly, I've been kind of disappointed with the Republican Party, right? I work with people with disabilities, the second largest minority voting bloc in the nation. I work with some of the longest multi-caste men in state history, including Reverend Keith Gasson, who probably spoke here tonight. The Republican Party has a lot, right? Yeah, victims of the Democrats, victims of Melinda Katz. Now, the fact of the matter is that the Republican Party has not really moved on that yet, right? But I'm gonna keep pushing. You guys know I'm not gonna stop. So just to finish off, the last thing is, right, DSA is kicking our butts on the streets, And it's time for us to start, whatever they're doing, we gotta start competing. I just checked the 31st Avenue Open Streets. I'm gonna do an event June 6th in Astoria. Indivisible, who's actually just a basically TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome, organization. That's all they are. They're doing something there every week from now for the whole entire summer. Where are our people at? If we don't do better, we deserve to lose. So I'm with you guys. I cannot be a disgusting Democrat. I'm eager to help the Republicans win. Let's go, people. That's it. Have a good night. Thank you. God bless you. Yeah. Also, the Democrats I'm kicking off, I might not make it. They would make actually 12 times the money if I wasn't running. That's how scared they are. We're going to kill them.
I'm Ruben Cruz. I protect long-term homeowners from deed theft and fraud, ensuring that their legacy stays with their families. I'm here today for all of you, but particularly for my fellow candidates. I have an organization called the Candidate Caucus, and what we do is we work together to support each other, share best practices, do examinations of other candidates that we're running against. We do a deep search into what the competition is, what needs to be done to win. And does anyone remember my first statement? What do? I protect homeowners. Does anyone remember what any of the other candidates do in a word? Great. So my first statement was less than 20 words. If you can't make a statement that everyone will remember, Ruben, he protects homeowners. That's what I want to do with the Candidate Caucus. I want every candidate here, if they wish, to join with me. We're going to work on our 20-word pitch right off the bat to win. We're going to look into our websites and say, this is how we streamline, this is how we focus what we're doing, this is how we get the word out media-wise. How do we convey that message? We are a minority. So in my district, I'm running for assembly in District 38 against Jennifer Rajkumar. So I can get 25 to 30% of the vote Republicans that'll sign right away. How am I going to get the rest? That's what we're going to talk about in my candidate caucus. I yield my time and thank you.
Thank you very much. How's everyone doing today? Everyone's doing great, right? That's right. Well, I've been here many times before. My name is Castro. I'm a candidate for State Assembly District 30, running in the communities of Mascot, Woodside, Jackson Heights, and Elmhurst. I'm running on a platform to grow skills and jobs, build smart and safe infrastructure, preserve, protect, and improve the quality of life for everybody. Not just for left or right, but for everybody. Now, I want to address a little bit of what everyone was saying here. Who's here is happy with the current mayor that we have now? Now, exactly. But there's many reasons for that. While the Democrats are having their most public battle of all time, it's the DSA versus the conservative Democrats. It's the DSA, it is the socialists versus the Democrats that they have there now. And what are we doing? What is the GOP doing to actively fight back? It's almost like we're asleep at the wheel. That is where the local candidates come into play. I'm running a coalition with independent moderates, conservatives, liberals, and also Democrats. We need them to win. Now, I ran back in 2024, just a year after I had graduated from college, and we knocked on 19,000 doors, got 12,000 votes. We got 40% for a first-time campaign. Thank you. Only fundraised close to $10,000. Not only are we going to reach the goal that I did in a whole year's time back in 2024, in just the first month and a half, but we are going to get the matching funds. We'll be on track for a six-figure campaign funds to go up against whoever wins that Democrat primary. This is an open seat this year. The incumbent vacated the seat. He's running for state senate against another DSA candidate. But this is what the bigger picture is. And Sheryl is also one of the candidates running in the Democrat primary. But this is what the bigger picture is. Every single seat in Western Queens, aside from maybe one or two, is going to be occupied by, guess what? Socialists. After June 23rd, and I can say this with sheer confidence now, 95% is going to be DSA held. The challengers are not equality, they are not fundraising, they have no actual presence, and a lot of them are very, very well funded, they're very, very well supported. And my seat is the only one that's going to have, outside from Edmund Lee here, we're going to be the only ones that put up a viable fight. Not only have I been there for a long time, I was involved in Ramses Frias's campaign. I don't know if he got to say like a few words, but I was involved in his city council campaign. I helped out John Healy for his city council District 26 campaign. Those are both of the northern points. I helped out Phil Wong in his Democrat primary, in which he won, by the way. He won with just over 300 votes, and my team, we knocked on 16,000 doors for him, did a lot of the graphics for him. We did everything else. But that's the infrastructure that we built, the little empires that we're starting to build. Coalition building is the only way that we can actively beat them. That is the only way. If it's R versus D, guess what happens? The average person walking down the street, they're just going to happen to vote Democrat. And anybody who's honest with you today, this is a midterm year. The Democrats are motivated to vote out Trump, but this is New York City. This is Queens. Zoran is really the spiritual top of the ticket there. I've never met a Blakeman superfan. I've never met a Hochul superfan. But Zoran, he's polling at 48% now. He's polling at 48%. That's 12 to 50 points below that Eric Adams was at during his first 100 days. And so that's close to what he won by the way. He won with 50.3%. And that's going to keep on narrowing and narrowing and narrowing down. And while the three Democrats that are running in my seat, for this open seat, in that three-way Democrat primary, they're all progressive, socialist leaning, and I'm the only moderate. I was endorsed day one by former council member Bob Holden. I announced as soon as it became open. Day one. So I'm still the only candidate. There's four, and I'm the only candidate endorsed by the in-district Democrat. Not any one of those three can actively say that. And so we are building up a coalition here of the independents, the independent moderates, the independent Democrats, the conservatives who care about reform. My campaign here, we're campaigning on education reform, growing skills and jobs, and not just a basic slogan. People my age, I'm only 26 by the way, people my age are having a hard time finding jobs, affording just a basic cost of living here. And what's our active solution for them? What is our platform? Zoran was the only one talking about it. He really was. I did not vote for him, by the way. But there's a reason why people my age, he got 80% of the Gen Z vote. And what are we doing to actively go after them? Not a damn thing, but I am. That's what my campaign is built on. I've been there for years. I've helped out both parties, only ever the common sense candidates. We've had a couple of victories, and I'm going to be the one to win after 90 years, the first ever Hispanic Assembly candidate to win after 90 years. 90 whole years. And there is a reason for that. The only way that the GOP ever actively survives going up against the political machine is the same two words I've said over and over again: coalition building. We're collecting for an independent party line now that has a mix of common sense Democrats, conservatives, GOP candidates, Sheryl being one of them. Well, that's what we had to ally with. People who would actually vote for us, and we spoke about their campaigns. I'm here to address unemployment in Gen Z, in our youth, in everybody. I'm not only talking about my current generation now, but for everybody coming after me. This is an education reform platform that prioritizes trade schools, career development programs, vocational training programs. This is an actual future that not only parents like, but this is going to serve our future youth too. Smart and safe infrastructure. One of my campaign slogans, I wish I had my sons with me here today: build smart, build safe. Well, everybody's talking about housing. Where's the infrastructure? Where's the talks about the infrastructure now? What's going to happen is that we keep going the way that Zoran is going now. They're not going to have the money to pay for much of the infrastructure. And so that's where people like me get that balance of dialogue, start talking about the issues that people actually care about. We need to stay with the local issues. If we want any chance a victory, by the way. The average person walking down the 7th train doesn't care about some of the local petty drama. What they actually care about is the local issues. So I encourage every single candidate, I want to summarize what everyone was saying here. If we want any chance of victory, stay away from that stuff. Talk about the local issues. Talk about what you're going to do for them. How are you going to clean up the streets? We have an active campaign platform. I am all over social media. People watch me there every day. On every single social media is Brandon Castro, NY. I have my palm cards there too. And we have a lot more endorsement support actively coming in. And I'm one of the only candidates that can tell you for 5 hours what my pathway to victory is. We've already proved it the very first day. We collected nearly 1,000 signatures. We're going to collect way more for the independent party lines. We're going to get the matching funds. We're going to get that base of support that our party has been desperately needing. But I cannot do that without each and every one of you. I have some contribution cards. Every single district is matched times, the first of $50 are matched at times 12. But for anyone that lives in the communities of Maspeth, Woodside, Jackson Heights, Elmhurst, yours can get matched times 10. But this is a vital campaign. It's an open seat. It's one of the very few times where we actually have energy going on here. And I encourage every single candidate, speak to the local concerns, forget all the petty drama going on. Talk to the community. We're going to knock on 50,000 doors this year. If I knocked on 19,000 and we got nearly 12,000 votes, just imagine the sheer mass that we're able to do. If we want any sense of party building, it's time to support some of the local candidates, encourage the younger people to get involved, and actually show a pathway to victory for once. So if anyone can help me, I'll be right there. I'm the easiest person to spot. And please, I encourage you, donate, share everything that I post. We will win. We are going to win. I hope we're able to flip a few seats in Queens this year. But I can't do that without each and every one of your help. And I yield my time. Thank you very much.
It's currently 9:30, but all the candidates will be able to speak tonight that's here. So I ask your indulgence, we're probably going to be going 15 to 20 minutes over there. So next, Veronica Gonzalez, then followed by Jason Murillo.
Thank you so much. Let's give it up for the Queens Republican Club right here. Guys, you can call some more people in the building. Come on. Thank you. And Danny, thank you so much. To sum up who I am honored to be here. I'm representing the District 74. That's in Gibbs Bay, Gramercy, Lower East Side, East Village. And I'm the first Latina to announce it here to be representative for the Republican and Conservative Party. In history, so I'm honored to announce that here. Yes, thank you. Thank you for coming back. So quickly about me, why I wanted to run. Born and raised 40 years in the Lower East Side. I've seen the ups and downs in my own community. And with that said, I felt now that going back from, I used to live in Lower East Side, went to the Bronx, then came back 8 years ago. And I have seen the mishap in that community. And with that said, I have seen so much drug usage. The streets are not clean as they used to be back in the days. And there's so many things I feel I'm gonna continue to talk about, make a show for you guys. And I felt like I had to be the right person to finally make that initiative and make that change. So quick backstory, like I said, I'm born and raised, Lower East Side. I've been in a foster care system. I know firsthand how bad I've been before. I am also a sexual assault victim or survivor, as they say. So I'm here as a proven tool to know that if you overcame so much in your personal life, you can flip that and make it a positive way and also embrace your community as well. I'm also a domestic violence survivor. So I'm here for all the things I went through personally, and I'm here to survive. And if I could survive that, I want to survive this right now with you guys, first ever hearing it on this stage, that I'm only going to make a change in that community as much as I possibly can. Thank you. Now, quickly on my campaign, there's a few policies I want to brush up on this. Of course, again, I said drug usage is really big down there in Lower East Side, in that region. And I want to make it clean. I want to have more possibilities for these I don't call drug addicts, I call them that are going to reform. They're going to change, and we need to get programs for them. We need to give them caring, understanding professionals that will help them lead you to going back to being society and cleaning up their ways. We need that. That's one thing I really want to make an initiative on that. Secondly, as you guys know, we have a mental health crisis going on here. That's another issue I really want to take personally, because I know people personally who are affected by this. We are lack of programs for people who are encountering these situations. They're in the streets, they're in the transportation, they're the ones that's pushing people in the drains. They're the ones that are having issues because they don't get the right sufficient programs that are needed for them in New York City. Do you agree with that, guys, here? Yes? Thank you. So with that being said, I really think we need to more help with the mental health people, get the crisis out of the situation, and get them to the facilities and also the medications, and they could live a very normal life. Third thing I do want to address on here on the stage, like I said, it was a problem situation now, is the homeless shelters. Now, you know what happened with Madame, right? What's going on with that situation? What happened if, the Bellevue Hospital across the street is the men's shelter. That's been there for many, many years. And apparently, he took the initiative without going to proper protocols, and he went on his own terms and now placed them to where we live at in the East Village region, okay? Without even doing it the right way. And he got away with it because he has the power. Now, with that show of hands, who do you feel that Madame needs to leave out of office? Just show of hands here. Okay, we got a lot of hands here. Okay, good. So with that in mind, with the homeless shelter situation, I do want to clean that up. I want to get more programs in that situation to help the homeless people get off the streets, get their life back on track. And third of all, I want to add this quickly, the fact that we need to have Madame out of office. He has done nothing right for us at all since he entered office. And what he has done is ruin our finances. He's trying to take out services for us when it comes to the programs, correct? The programs for the low-income families. He's trying to take that out so they can be in the street. What's the point of having these places for people for reliable sources and they can't help them? Can I get an amen in here? We're in church, by the way. Can I get an amen? Thank you, somebody. Thank you. So real quickly, you guys, my campaign, if you'd like to support my campaign, that is at www.verogforny.com. And again, I want to thank you guys so much for having me here, and I'm truly honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Veronica. Next is Jason Murillo.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Oh my God, this every day. I feel flattered. Oh my God, I'll fall down. Thank you, madam.
Just don't fall for me.
No. Thank you, madam.
Yeah, we're recording.
I was a former professional wrestler, so I'm used to main eventing here, so I'm used to it, so it fits right in here. First off, I want to thank everyone here at the Central Queens Republican Party, and Danny Mayo, and all the great volunteers here, all the people that's in attendance tonight. I appreciate you guys for coming out and supporting our fellow common sense candidates. Such as myself and everyone else that's here that spoke on the stage before me, because this is not about Republican or Democrat, it's about common sense. And that's what we're here for, to bring common sense leadership back to Albany. Because obviously it's absent right now in City Hall and Albany. So a little bit about myself. I'm Jason Murillo, lifelong community advocate, organizer. I was originally born in Brooklyn, Ocean Avenue, Midwood, and Sheepshead Bay, area. And then I relocated. Unfortunately, I had to leave a domestic violence situation with my, now deceased, abusive father. So me and my mother had to go, had to escape that back in 1988. At a young age, and go through the shelter system, the whole thing. Was homeless for a couple years until we found a home in 1990 in the Lower East Side. And ever since then, 36 years later, the Lower East Side, as a little boy, took me in and accepted me as one of their own. So that is why I decided 2 years ago to run for city council in my district, in my neighborhood, that took me in as one of their own, to make sure to pay it forward and to represent our community. Well, that last year was District 2, now I'm running for State Senate 27, which is the East Village, Alphabet City, all the way to the Financial District. You know, it's pretty much one of the most important Senate districts in the entire country. You know, so it's right up there. You know, especially with Wall Street and everything. And, you know, proximity to power, you got City Hall right there. So the state senator who represents that district will have direct oversight over City Hall and over the mayor of New York City. So this seat is crucial. So we have an open Senate seat because Brian Cannonball, the longtime senator, is retiring. So this seat is up for grabs. And it's been a long time since we had a Republican hold that seat or any seat in Manhattan. So I put my name, you know, in the political ring. You know, and I got the nomination from the Conservative Republican Party. I am a registered Republican, okay, so I want to make that clear, all right, and I'm proud to be a Republican. You know, ever since President Trump came down the escalator, 2015, you know, and I haven't looked back since. You know, so I am running for represent my district and New York, because I am fed up of no accountability, no transparency, no good government. We got weak, spineless elected officials in my district, from city council all the way to state senate, and obviously, you know, who's in the governor mansion right now. You know? You know, so, yeah. So recently, I don't know if you guys know, I made the news. You know, I made the New York Post this past Sunday, page 12, because I'm leading a now citywide coalition of hundreds of people protesting the mayor illegal executive orders to relocate homeless shelters all around the city, including in my neighborhood. Now, I'm not against homeless services. I want help for everyone. But we have to ask ourselves some serious questions here. With all the indictments, all the investigations, you got hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars being spent. We have the highest per homeless individual in the entire country. New York State pays over $80,000 of your taxpayer money for a homeless individual. Now, I have to ask myself a question. If we're paying over $80,000 per homeless individual, why is there still homeless people living on the fucking streets? Why are they living in tents? Why they have mattresses on sidewalks? And you go all around my district and go around all your districts throughout New York City, and we got homeless people still living in the streets. So where is that money going? Because it's damn sure not going to get people off the streets where they belong. That's why you need people like me in the state senate to hold these people accountable, to audit the hell out of City Hall, out of Albany, out of Department of Homeless Services, and to end the fraud and abuse. All that money that we're spending, we can house every single person, give them a job program, give them mental health services, rehabilitate them, and save taxpayers billions of dollars. Now, I'm not a career politician. I'm just like you. I'm a fellow New Yorker. I'm a radio personality, you know, on the radio and everything. I'm just someone who is fed up of the status quo, of the bullshit, same old politics. We keep electing the same people over and over and over again, and nothing has changed. We got spineless, gutless
people in office. That's why you're going to have someone with balls, someone with guts that will stand up to the political establishment, whether it's my party or the Democrat Party. Everyone is fair game, like I said last year at the Donald J. Trump Republican Club. I will expose corruption and fraud no matter where the fuck it is. All right, so in closing, I want to thank everybody for coming out. You want to get involved? We created a movement last year. 9,000 strong showed up to the polls, the most in the history of District 2. And I had the highest turnout from NYCHA residents in the history of any Republican conservative candidate in my district. And we're going to make history this November 3rd. We send a Republican to the state senate. Get involved with the movement, which is now citywide, statewide. My website, jasonforny.com, jasonforny.com. Thank you so much. God bless everyone. I'm sorry for the profanity. And let's go. Let's make New York great again. Thank you.
Okay, we have 3 more speakers left tonight. Next is Darwin Shaw. He's running for the State Assembly 68 in Manhattan. By the way, if you want to join the candidate caucus, just for candidates, you can sign my petition with your address and email and phone, so we can get together and win together.
Good evening, everybody. I really don't need this, but I'm going to take a sit. I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to read. I want to be professional, let's say. Good afternoon to everybody here. My name is Darwin Shaw. Pardon me, I'm new to this. Okay. My name is Darwin Shaw. I'm running for Assembly District 68. My friends call me London, though, so hopefully we can all become friends. I'm not a career politician. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to read this. I'm going to be honest. Hopefully I can remember. I'm not a career politician. I'm 36 years old. I was born and raised in Scranton, Pennsylvania. My sister has lived in New York for about 30 years. I'm a child from a traumatic past, let's say, so I can relate when individuals speak about individuals living in the projects, coming from poverty and struggle. I witnessed my mom get murdered at the age of 3, so that's why I got involved in politics, to prevent people from feeling the pain and going over the obstacles that I had to, because it's really hard. I'm a single father of 4, but I have my daughter full-time. She's 12 years old. We moved out here because, again, like gentleman was speaking about drugs and whatnot, my kid's mother overdosed on drugs, meeting the wrong people. So she was taken from me, and due to that and me going through what I went through with my mom, I moved. I came out here. My sister asked me to just get away, let's just say, to grow, that the world is bigger than where I was from, and she is right. One day I was watching Donald Trump on TV. I was 29 years old, and me being a child of poverty, it doesn't even matter what color you are, because I have a lot of people from all different backgrounds in my family. I was adopted from my mom. I wanted to run for president. 29 years old. My school teacher in Bancroft Elementary, she was like, what was one of your dreams? I was 10 years old, and I told her, I want to be president of the United States of America. Not only being a young black man, but a kid of poverty and understanding pain, and wanted to make a real, actual change, not only with my voice, but being an example.
Excuse me, my brother here is sharing a really important story. A story that means something to all of us as candidates too. If you can't listen to a fellow candidate, how can you help your community? Please, give them your respect and attention.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. I was honestly going to say that I am an individual that likes to put my best foot forward. I will provide not only a service of goods, but I like to be the asset instead of asking individuals for anything. I will not provide, but I will put my best foot forward and show that I am a viable investment. We all are investments included in the community. It's not about money. I can get money. It's not about money. It's about character. It's about presence. It's about actually making a change, not only for yourself, but for the youth. That's what it is all about. My natural platform, let's just say, because I ran for mayor twice in my city. You can Google me. My name is Darwin II. Ran for state representative. Now I'm here. I wanted to run for mayor, so I will apologize to you, ladies and gentlemen out here. I'm not with the political backbiting because I know what it is to be involved in corruption and infighting. So I like to be a positive example. But when I did try to get on the ballot, I had to live here for a year in my own establishment and things like that. So I was watching Mayor Zora and just listening to the community, and even me spending my 20s out here in East New York and Berryman and New Lots, that's where my sister lived. Like the madam said right there, I forgot your name, I'm sorry. It is really hard. It is full of youth, and the city adopted me because I was a kid from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I met everybody, my friend Kay, playing basketball. And he just told me, he was like, yo, I want to do a lot more. I see you every day. I see you have a book in your hand, and you're not like us. But I just opened up and I said, we can all make a positive change. It starts with you. It depends on what you want to do, but ultimately it starts with you. You can get support, but you have to make that ultimate decision. And he grew on me, and we became friends, and I helped him get off the street, just like he helped me get off the street. And even though witnessing my mom getting murdered over drugs and things, there's nothing for us out there in the street life, gangs, poverty. So I do stand with, I will fight every gang. I will stand for the communities. I will stand for the people, because it is not okay. It is not okay for me as a father to worry about my daughter who just turned 12 to go to school on her own because she is growing as an individual, to worry about, is she going to make it home safe? Is she going to get hit by a stray bullet? Is there going to be unforeseen problems that happen? So I will put my best foot forward. Even an individual who got stuck into the street life, I can't fault that either, because it's just pain that we all go looking for love and things like that. But I will also have a common sense, let's say, law, and inform individuals on financial growth, financial literacy, to show how they can make a better way in income. I started in the shelter system. That needs to fix. It needs to get fixed. If you get put in a system like that and you don't have, let's say, a proper 2-year state of income, not 2-year state of income, I'm sorry, let me slow down. If you don't have a proper 2 years of residency, you have to go back to PATH and redo the situation, redo the process all over again. If, let's just say, if you don't have children, it is very, really hard and unhygienic to live in, let's say, a single men's or a single woman's shelter. It's rough, but us as citizens, as a legislator, we can produce common sense laws by revamping the contracts, let's say, with NYCHA and everybody else, and look for common sense spending. Not even look, we will have common sense spending. We will cut overtime and things like that. Don't just take money from the budget or slicing in certain areas. You would have to have common sense auditing. We will audit everything properly. Find out where the leaks are, whether it's overtime, and we also do need about 35,000 police officers to cover everybody in this city. That does not need to be cut. They are still serving individuals. They are public servants. We are the public. So they do work for us, but that is just the career job that they pick. So they are human, and I do understand the animosity between two, but I would like to be, and I will be, the bridge of that gap. Again, I am running for 68, but ultimately, my ultimate goal is to run for president of the United States. I want to be the youngest president in history. JFK was 42. I was going to run for 38, but I love New York. I love you guys. I understand the ups, the downs, the struggles. Me, as I said, going to NYCHA. I'd like to say I'd like to address something that we talk about in the community a lot, what I would like to say the 30% rule. 30% of our income, household income, goes to nowhere, let's just say, to government officials, and I would like to say they put it in their pocket. Now, 30% alone still is too high to live into the city, especially if you're a single individual. Now, you have to struggle between with that 30%. You're going to debate on paying those bills. You're going to debate on medicine, food, or cost of living for your children. That is still too high. Now, I would like to put it down to 25%. Now, you're going to put an extra couple of thousand, maybe if we put it in a bulk, about 5 to 10 million in between, back in the individuals' homes and in your community. Now, that is smart spending. We can open up, like everybody said, new programs for children. trade schools. I am an individual that graduated from Keystone College. I am certified in Office of Administration and Banking and Finance. That's the first trade I ever had. Now, due to that trade, it set me apart from my friends that graduated in high school because I can go in there with a solid resume, a solid professional speaking stance, and it's all about how you carry yourself. Are you a good representation for the people, and will you put the people first before your needs? And I understood that from being let down, being put down, depending on others instead of depending on myself, you know, and I have to take responsibility and blame and really apologize because I do take politics seriously, but it's more in the government and treating people how you want to be treated. I apologize that I wasn't fully prepared, but I do plan and I will see you guys again fully. So the speech will be the same, but it will get better and clearly, but just know that I'm not going nowhere. I am here. My name is Darwin Shaw. I'm running for State Assembly 68, and I will work with anybody as long as it's conducive to growing the community, uplifting financial advancements, and smart legislation for everybody from now to come. And I'm not going to let my kids take on our burdens and retire at the age of 72. Realistically, I would like to retire between 54 and 60. Thank you.
Thank you for indulging our last speaker, Sheryl. We've been doing joint petitioning, as you just heard, with Brendan Castro. So she's running the 12th senatorial district, the one that Michael Giannaris is vacating.
Probably not. I gotta end. No, I can't.
They can record? Okay. So my name is Sheryl Fetik. I'm running as Sheryl Ann Fetik. That was my father's idea to call me Sheryl Ann. And that's the way my name appears on the ballot when I run for office. So I live in the 12th senatorial district, the district where Michael Giannaris, the deputy majority leader of the state senate, all of a sudden said, toward almost the day that was the last day that he could have done it, I'm not running again. And we were all surprised. I've been active for a very long time, but I'm not part of the inner group. So I said, I live in the district. I should run. I've been active for a very long time in many, many things. I'm a CPA with a legal background, which means I've worked on cases and all kinds of legal issues. I have run for office before. I ran for city council a few years ago, and I have held some elected party positions. I am a Democrat. I am an independent, thinking, reasonable Democrat. Because I am very active, I am aware that, and I don't know all the little details, that the Democratic Party, at least certain people in the Democratic Party, have made their deals with the socialists. And they basically have decided that the district that I live in, the 12th senatorial district, and the whole slew of assembly districts that is within them, the 34th assembly district, the 36th, the 37th, the 38th, the 30th, and part of the 29th, which is where I live. The district goes all the way from Rego Park to Astoria and from Ridgewood over to Elmhurst. That it will all be socialist. And I said, wait a minute, I'm not a socialist. I'm a Democrat. I believe in capitalism, and I believe in helping people who need help. I believe in creating opportunities for people. I believe in helping homeowners, not having such a burden for everybody, not squeezing down on everybody now. No. I just had my gas bill. Those of you who have a gas bill with National Grid, you'll know that in January they raised the rate by 20% in the middle of the winter. So we had that cold spell, and then we had 20% on top of that, so I had a $900 a month gas bill. So if you don't pay it on time, what do? They threaten you, right? Threaten. Why should it be a $900 a month gas bill? I keep my heat at 62. I'm very conservative. So let's get back to the race. So I threw my name in. They thought there was a deal. One, Gianaris is out. They have the assemblyman where Brendan Castro is now running for the assembly. Oh, we're going to move him over. He's a socialist, also connected with the DSA and with Mamdani. And this ultra-left-wing Palestinian woman is going to run against the other socialists. They're both socialists. Well, why would they want two socialists in the race? And I'll explain it to you. Because in order to get matching funds, you must have an opponent. So I have one real candidate, one getting ready maybe to run for whatever else is local, and they don't expect, this is going to wipe the slate and no one else is supposed to run. They did not expect Sheryl Fetik to throw her name in. So I covered the district for 2 months, walking the streets, talking to the voters. The Democratic Party was very angry at me. They did not want me to do this because they had made, again, I don't know the details, whatever arrangements they had made. And now they are trying to get me off the ballot in the Democratic primary. I'm not sure if they're going to succeed. I have been fighting Mamdani and his people for a whole year. I know the DSA people from 10 years ago, and I know that they are what my mother called, my mother's no longer alive, and I would describe to her the situation, and she said, it sounds like the Communist Party from the 1930s. I don't know that, but that's what my mother told me. So I'll just tell you a little bit further because Mamdani compares himself to Roosevelt. I want you to know that my grandfather, who was a new immigrant, fought with Roosevelt against the communists. The labor movement was against the communists in the 1930s, and they fought hard against the communists. So let's get back to the present day. Present day is now, I was approached by some nice people, reasonable people. Let's form a coalition and see what we're going to do to stop the DSA, to stop the socialists from taking over our city. And I said, okay, let's do it. Let's try. I also go door to door. I'm a very good campaigner. And so we have our petition. Oh, sorry. It's all right, it's all right. Just paper. So, that some of you have already signed. What is this to do? It's to put a coalition of reasonable-minded, moderate-minded, thinking Democrats and Republicans on the ballot on a separate line, an independent line. We're calling it arts and culture. But whatever the name is, that's what we're doing. And there's a few people, I think there's a few other petitions with this name. In order to fight back, we need to have alternatives on the ballot to fight back. So let me tell you a little bit further about myself, why you should have confidence in me to be the state senator. I've been active for a very long time. You can tell, right? Maybe. I'm a CPA. I have a legal background. I've worked on difficult cases, difficult situations, and I've often been able to succeed. I helped to take care of my family for many years. I extended my mother's life by 20 years. She had all kinds of ailments. She lived to be over 96. And I learned about the healthcare field. that we need to make major changes in access to health care. I'm told that there's almost a stop. So I'll just a couple more minutes. So healthcare, the socialists, why I'm bringing in this healthcare, because the socialists are pushing something they're calling single payer. Everybody should go with single payer, single payer, single payer. Which means what? It means the government will control who has access, when you have access, what you have access to, and it's all free, like the buses and the supermarkets. In my view, we need to have options for health care and increase access at all levels, but also have options. People being able to decide. I favor increases in access to education, improvements in education at all levels, especially given our situation now with AI and people going to be losing their jobs. I'm a homeowner. I believe in not increasing taxes and fees on homeowners or on New Yorkers in general, but to be responsible. And somebody mentioned the homeless shelters earlier. Well, last year I was fighting a homeless shelter in my area where they were putting it next to playgrounds and children's areas. So I've been active for a long time. I've generally been effective. I am ready to take on the position of state senator. When they put legislation in front of my face, I will know what they're talking about. Whether it's financially, legally, or the real issues that people care about. Yes.
Will you influence local law 97 because it's going to cost our building $20 million?
I think it's a terrible idea to force everybody into one way or the highway, which is what DSA does in many, many areas.
Well, thank you very much, Cheryl. We need to wrap up. The church is actually has to close, so
Anyone else? I'm happy to speak to you further if you'd
the
like.
winner of the 50-50 is Veronica Gonzalez, okay? We have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Please sign my petition.
Second.
Okay, put Brandon and me on the ballot.
Thank you very much. The meeting is adjourned at 10:06.
Oh, sorry.
We gotta put the chairs away? Yo, Danny, what about the chairs?
Can I just speak into the video for 1 minute? Not with them, just in the video. Daniel, can I just talk into the video?
Sure.
Can I just talk into the video?
We have to print up another petition.
Did you cut it?
No.
Okay. So.
The DSA people know me. I'm Danny. I know those people.
See you next
and
time.
And they know I've been fighting them for a whole year.